was wondering who was going to say something.
All right. Okay. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome
This is
back.
episode 10 with Ship to Shore Podcast.
Episode 10, audio only.
I'm Hannah Enzer. This is my husband.
My name's Corey, also Enzer.
You better believe it. So listen, you guys. The title of this one is We're Late, We're Late, We're Late. There's a
Late as
reason for
fuck.
that.
Yeah. We got a lot. Life's a lot.
So I don't know if you follow our personal social media pages, but I posted that our kids had a couple of procedures done this week. Shepherd got tubes again, and Mr. Sawyer got his tonsils out.
Big ones.
Humongous.
Might be a record.
So he's a kid who loves to eat certain foods, but not all foods.
And only those certain foods.
But only those certain foods, which all happen to be not on the list of edible foods.
Yeah, they're on the do not eat list.
For tonsillectomies.
Except for ice cream. And would you know what? He's sick of it.
Yeah.
Already.
We're on day 4, and he's actually doing much better, but at first he was very upset with us.
Oh, dude, he was so sad.
He would not speak. He was just very upset.
He was texting us and like typing on his phone and showing us that was his way of communication. He was trying to do that today, and I'm like, bruh, it's day 3. I think you can talk.
Day 4.
4.
Well, it was weird the first couple of days because Sawyer is a very talkative kid. You know, he has always had a lot to say, and it has been quiet.
So
around
strange.
here.
This is the quietest it's been since 2013.
Yeah.
He hasn't stopped since he was learning how to talk.
Well, and even when he was a baby, he was just constantly like, yeah,
and also screaming, crying.
So I was thankful that my buddy got his talking voice back.
Yeah, he's starting to seem like his old self again.
And thank goodness my mom made homemade ice cream. That's been one of his main food sources for 4 days now.
Yeah, that's about it. We got him to eat a little bit of cheesy bread today.
Yeah.
Probably against the rules, but he's got to eat something.
No, I like melted loaf bread and a slice of Kraft cheese on it for just like 12 seconds in the microwave, and he ate 3 of those.
He's so hungry. I'm hoping at the end of this he's going to be so hungry he'll eat like a cheeseburger or something that he hasn't eaten since he was a year and a half old.
He asked me today if he could put regular food in his mouth and chew it up and then spit it out.
Technically, yeah.
I was like, man, look.
I asked him if you want to just smell it the other day. I was like, dude, you want to smell this and then take a bite of some yogurt? He did not seem very happy with me.
Well, I was like, I would let you do that, but I just feel like you're so hungry at this point. I don't trust your brain to be able to remember to spit it, and you're going to accidentally try to swallow it.
Could you imagine?
Oh, and I do not want to have to re-cauterize bloody throat holes.
No. Gross.
Yeah, but that was fun. Sawyer's always like a wild panther when he comes off of anesthesia.
Yeah, trying to rip the tubes out of his arms and stuff.
Yeah, man, he was up on all fours. He was crying and I mean, just rolling all around and like wailing, And he was that way for a while after he came out.
Well, it's because what they have to, whatever it is they give him puts him under. Plus, his brain is probably freaking out because, well, I mean, I went back and forth on whether or not I wanted them to actually do it once we learned that he has to be intubated and has to be clinically dead for the entire time on a machine is baby for him. That scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. So I, before my colonoscopy had to have pre-admission testing at the hospital, and I was questioning what type of anesthesia that I would be using and all these things. And she was explaining it to me with no knowledge that, we had a kid with a tonsillectomy scheduled. And she was like, you're way down here with the type of sedation that we'll use. Like, this top one where you're intubated and clinically dead, that would be for like tonsillectomies.
So casually says the term clinically dead.
Well, and my eyes got huge, and she was like, "Oh, but it's fine." And I was like, "No, I just have a kid with a tonsillectomy scheduled next week, and it's not a really pleasant thought to know he'll be clinically dead
Mm,
for 30
yeah,
minutes or however long it
yeah.
takes."
So knowing that, it's a little more understandable for him to be coming out, like acting crazy, bucking and getting up on all fours, trying to rip the shit out of his arms. Like, what just happened to me?
Yeah, he was like, I'm trying to think, what did he first say when they rolled him in? He was definitely
He said
crying.
my throat hurts.
He was like, "It hurts." And then he said something else. Did he say, "Where are we?"
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like, "Where are
He didn't know
we?"
what
or
was going on.
"Where are we going?"
He
or
just knew it
something.
hurt. They'd call him in to give him some more morphine like immediately.
Yeah, that baby, it was a rough time for him, but luckily
We
he's
got
done
him
very
settled.
well,
Yeah.
with the exception of, he's starving, but
Gosh. Yeah, Shepard didn't. You can't even tell anything happened to Shepard. He just got a good nap.
yeah, he had his tubes. He was like sitting up in the bed smiling when they rolled him back into the room, and he immediately ate a
You know what's
purple
you know what
popsicle.
cracks me up about Shepard though
But
is after that we were talking to him about it and we told him how when the nurses brought him back in the room they were talking about how cute he is and he's such a sweet cute little boy and he turned to us and goes, "Do you think she said that about all the other boys and girls?"
that
I was like, "No, just you, man."
he is so intuitive. Like Shepard does not miss a beat. I mean,
No.
he's so good at reading like the room and reading, you know, people's energies and like intention with words that I mean,
Mm.
the kid has wit.
He is so he's so funny.
And because of that, he's hilarious.
We're gonna tell. I guess the other day what he said he asked you he said, "Mom, why do I fart so much? Do I have diabetes?" Which thinking about it now, I think he probably was trying to say diarrhea.
No, he
Just
was
mixed
just
them
like
up.
so like we were watching a movie and he had farted like 3 times and after the third time he was like, "Oh, why do I fart so much? Do I have diabetes?" And then I would just
Such
bust out laughing because I was like, "No, what?"
it is constant farts though.
And then
This
he was
house.
like, we were talking about going to Chuck E. Cheese and he was like, "I thought Chuck E. Cheese was in England." And I was like, "Nah,
No,
bro,
buddy. We
we
got it right
got
here
right
in
up the road."
US of A. I'm sure England has their own version of Chuck E. Cheese, don't they? Like
They call
Carl's
it,
and a biscuit.
I was trying to think of something
Other
good.
stupid shitty ass food on there.
Fish and chips.
Hello, governor.
Fish and chips. And it's just like a robotic fish and French fry on the stage, like, win these games, win these pizza prizes. Oh, that was the funniest part. We ended up going to Chuck E. Cheese. And like I got to listening to what music was playing in the background, and they have like their very own soundtrack of hip
Oh
hop
yeah.
and rap music
But
that only applies to like pizza, playing
getting
games,
a high school getting
getting a high
tickets.
score, winning tickets. It was
And they
so
all sound
funny.
like they're very familiar songs. Like they sound like they're on the radio,
Yeah,
but they're
that's why I
not.
started listening
You
so
won't hear them anywhere
close.
else but in the old Chuck E. Cheese.
And then I was like, are they saying get the high score? I was like, they're saying get the high score. And then it all clicked. And
Yo,
I was
it's
like,
fine
oh,
though.
snap.
It's all good because Chuck E. Cheese pizza fucking slaps.
It's
That
so
shit is
good.
so good.
It's my favorite.
Well, I don't know if you should say it's your favorite pizza, right?
I would say it's definitely in my top three.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd
Oh
say like
man.
Mellow Mushroom,
Ooh.
Chuck E. Cheese, Papa John's.
I don't think anyone has the same top three.
That's fine. That's why I'm a black
Dude,
sheep.
that's so funny. Man, top three pizza? Hmm. I
What are
agree with you on
yours?
Papa John's and Mellow Mushroom.
Okay.
I don't know. Jet's Pizza is probably my three.
You said Jets. We
Jet's
don't even
Pizza.
have a Jets here.
I know it's a shame. There's
Hmm.
one in Birmingham now, I think.
Hmm.
We should go.
Is that the giant pizza place?
No, it's mainly takeout and delivery, but it's
Hmm.
good. It's like square. I think it's Detroit style pizza.
Hmm. That sounds yummy.
Yeah, it's good. I had it when I lived in Nashville the
Cool.
first time.
So anyway, sorry that we're late and
Yeah,
posting this on Sunday, but our kids are in recovery. I'm feeling a little better with my stomach issues, but I feel
thankfully.
like that's in progress. So hopefully we will be consistent on this
Yeah.
again soon.
And it's summertime, so our kids have nowhere to go during weekdays. So when I'm off, we have much less time to actually record. So
Definitely. And because of that, we will probably do audio only
for a while,
for a while and maybe pick back up on YouTube when school starts back because so rarely do we have time here with just us
yeah.
and the dog
Like
and
right now, like it's late. The kids are asleep. The dog's asleep. This is when we can record audio
yeah,
on Saturday night.
but here we are and we appreciate y'all listening and hanging with
If it,
us and
if it bums you out that you don't get to see us on video, just let us know, and we'll try to be more active on social media so you can see us and
yeah,
talk to us
man,
and hear
that's
us. So,
another
and we'll do some
thing.
like AMAs or something.
Yeah, social media. We're maybe we will do some lives or some AMAs soon because life has been so busy and chaotic that I mean, social media content's time consuming, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And I'm ignorant to it. I can't do it. It has to be you because I don't know what I'm doing.
the contest winner I'm going to announce tomorrow,
Ooh.
and I
I'm
will
sure everyone's
post.
waiting.
I
Pins and
know.
needles.
I will post a picture of the piece of artwork that the winner will receive
Dun, dun, dun.
on social
Dude,
media,
this is
and then
gonna
I'll
be
announce it.
awesome.
Yeah. So
Wow.
thank you if you participated
Yes.
and shared and just all the support you guys have given us. We've got a really awesome circle of people
Yeah,
that we've found through this podcast, and we hope it continues to grow.
definitely. We want you to grow. We want y'all to grow as we grow in
Straight up.
number. Straight
So,
up.
what you think about moving?
Rolling. Moving.
Yeah, rolling down the road to a different state.
Excuse me. Moving. Man, sounds expensive,
We've talked about
but it
it.
sounds like it would bring me a lot of joy.
I don't know. I just sometimes, we've talked and laughed and joshed about being black sheep, feeling like we're black sheep, in the place that we live. And I just feel more than ever that there are some amazing people that live here, like really
Yeah,
awesome, amazing people. And of course, our families live here. But what other opportunities are there in other places that we could give ourselves and our kids by getting out of
yeah.
town?
Mainly our kids.
Yeah,
Like, and that's and we're talking about this a little bit before the podcast, but about school and about college and what what our kids are pushed towards and what's available to them, you know, with where we are, um, and compared to other areas, and even that, that's not to say that there's anything wrong with the school systems where we are, but maybe our kids don't want to go to college, you know,
yeah,
uh, maybe they want some sort of vocational training, what's offered here, what's offered there.
yeah. Well, Sawyer, excuse me, has been talking a lot about wanting to be, well, he hasn't said this because I don't really know that he's put it together, but he seems to have an entrepreneurial spirit and he's always wanting to find ways to make money and stuff. And he's mentioned a lot how he's going to grow up one day and have this job making millions of dollars, right? Um,
I hope so.
and
Shit.
so today, for the first time, I was like, that's awesome, but tell me kind of your plan in your head. Like, what are you thinking as far as how you're going to make that happen? And he was like, well, I'll go to school. And then when I get out of school, I'll get a job making a bunch of money. And I was like, okay, but rewind. Are you going to go to college or do you want to learn a trade or do you want to just work for a company full time and work your way up? And he was like, I think I'll go to college for 1 year. And I was like, that's not how it works. 4 years is a bachelor's degree, usually, depending on what you want to be. And he was like, okay, then I'll go to college and then get a job, make a bunch of money. And I was like, wait, rewind. So to get into college, there's some things you got to think about too. So we were kind of like working it
Yeah,
backwards. And I was trying to show him that he needs to always value education and like
Yeah.
apply himself at school if he really truly wants to make something of himself one day.
Yeah. And I want him to have the opportunity to do whatever it is that he decides, you know. And I just don't know if he's gonna have that here, whether it's something in the arts, you know, or whether it's performing, or whether
Hmm.
it's athletics, you know. I mean, hopefully he does well enough in school that he can go wherever he wants and do whatever
Hmm.
he wants. But
But sadly, in our state, that's not
well,
necessarily the
because
case because look at me.
well, no, 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 no. It's because Mee-maw Ivey is spending all of our money on a water park in Montgomery. It's supposed to be going to the fucking schools. That's what the problem is because our state is bottom of the barrel in education, and we're spending the education bucks on a whitewater park for the fucking governor. You
Yeah,
know?
it's very true. I mean, I busted my ass from the time I really ever got a grade on a report card. I
Hmm.
was determined to have like this perfect record, right? And I was going to join all these clubs and organizations so that I could get a full ride scholarship somewhere because I knew that my family couldn't afford
Yeah,
$100,000 to send me to college. Um, but I did want to, have a higher level of education. So I busted my ass for all those years, applied for all those scholarships, and because we made just over a certain amount of money, right over the threshold, I got no help from FAFSA, that kind of
yeah,
stuff. And then I got a partial scholarship because of one test score, the ACT.
yeah.
Like I scored a 32 and
Damn,
like
that's right. Yeah,
but to
you're
get
you're
a
smart
full
as shit.
or a 31 or a 32, I can't
That's
remember,
so
but
hard to get.
I took it 5 times because if you made like a 34, you could get a full ride,
Yeah,
but I could never
yeah.
score high enough.
I remember being in the same boat, not being poor enough to get any government assistance with school, but my parents making too much for. Well, yeah, they made too much for that, but we weren't well off enough for me to be able to pay to go to school. So I went to school for 30 minutes and decided I'm just gonna work instead.
God.
Which, if my kids want to work, I'll let them work. But I just want them to have the opportunity to do whatever they want. Like
Yeah.
currently, if you live in an area that is lower income, then you go to a school that has less money, that has less opportunity and less programs and less qualified teachers because they're gonna like it's very frustrating. I hate trying to get these sort of political discussions on this podcast, but it's important.
Yeah,
Our kids are important.
definitely. And I mean, even just within our county, like we are in a county school system that unfortunately we just don't have that budget that some of the city school systems do because they get extra funding for being, in these areas or with families of these incomes. And that's great. They need those resources. But why are we not spending that extra money to give all children these resources? Every
Yes.
resource.
Yes.
So important.
All the clubs, all the organizations.
Or like these kids that want to play sports, or like be a cheerleader, but it costs $2,500 for uniforms and camp.
Well,
And
and
can we
access to
sponsor them for that?
send the letters out to the schools to get the scholarships. Like how many kids in these other schools get better opportunities because they have counselors that care more, that are because there are more of them and they're pouring more time into those kids, sending this stuff
Hmm.
out and guiding them into what they want to do in this next step. And there's other ones that are just trying to get them the fuck out of there to get the next group in. You know,
Well, or how about like using some of that money to
money.
money, using some of the money to
I'm sorry, that tickled me.
um
Excuse me.
we talked about like mental health resources for middle
Mm,
school and high school kids. Like how much of that money I'm sure that we could use some of that to hire social workers to be able to schedule after school appointments for these kids that request
hmm.
them, that want free therapy,
Yeah,
through
and
school
for questions about
covered.
maybe their parents aren't very concerned if they go to school or not, but they are, and they're not getting any support at home. They need
Right.
somebody in the school to be that rock for them, to be that support.
And of course, you could make it so that obviously there's, guardian consent and that kind of
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
if the
But
child's underage.
it's never
But
gonna happen because we gotta have a damn whitewater park.
God,
All
do you know
the
how
how many
Bobo that sounds,
millions of
Alabama?
dollars?
Do you know how Bobo that sounds like?
I have
We gonna take all our
listen,
extra money.
I have employees who have been put through the public school system in Alabama who cannot spell very simple names and ingredients and can't read card. Like it's a problem. The state's in trouble. So our first thought is, well, let's get the fuck out. Let's move. But
Yeah.
we're black sheep of the South, but we have roots that go
Mm-hmm.
deep here, like we don't agree with everything or everybody, but we have really important, strong roots here.
Familial
Yeah.
roots here.
Well,
Our families are here.
and friends that are family,
Yeah.
people in our lives that I care just as much about as I do my
Mm.
family. And so it's like, well, shit, do we leave all of that? Well, fuck, first, we can't afford to do all that right now. It'd be a while before we ever could do that. But if it's the
Yeah.
right thing
Granted,
for the
I will
kids,
say the one good thing I can say about where we live is the elementary school that we are zoned for, I strongly feel is one of the best in the county.
I agree.
It's an excellent school, and it would make me so sad to have to leave that, but
Well, let's be honest. We're not gonna be able to afford to do it till Shepard's out of there anyways, so we'll probably be all right.
yeah,
It's gonna be just fine.
you,
we,
you
we ain't
right.
got it. Sawyer will be probably getting out of high school by the time we can afford to move.
That's right. Bring me back to reality. Well, look, for real, like, if we move, what are you going to look for in the place that we live next?
Hmm.
What would be on your list?
Hmm. Well, the obvious things would be the quality of the school systems and the opportunities for our kids, especially if Sawyer's wanting to continue to pursue athletics. That's really important to me for him. But Shepherd is so artistic too. I'd like them to have a good art program wherever we're going. But I'd like a a community we can be involved in there as well. Uh,
Something
not necessarily with like-minded people, but with people that I can get along with.
I would love to find a city that has a little bit of a progressive feel. Excuse me. But also like small town vibes too.
Yeah, I require nature, like close to nature. Like
Yeah.
I don't need to live in a very major metropolitan area. Like it needs to be pretty close to nature, and I need to be able to drive not too far away and not be able to see a tall building, and
Yeah.
be able to fish or hike or kayak and go on a boat. Woo!
Gosh. Sorry, you
Got a hold
guys.
to you.
I'm just a hacking and a hacking. Um, it seems like the beach, like towards
Mm,
the coast, would be probably our most realistic option
speaking. Okay,
because,
keep talking. I'm listening now.
well, we have family members that we love. I won't say who they are just in case, but
Shout out D.
Duh,
She ain't listening.
way to give it away.
This is one letter.
I'm just playing. Well, and they know she's a she now, so it's fine. We love you guys. But we have a couple of family members, a little bit of family that lives in Dothan, and Dothan happens to be
Dothan.
one of
You
the
mean
top.
Daphne?
I mean, Daphne, Lord have mercy, bless my heart,
We're thinking
Daphne.
coast. Dothan.
But y'all, like we said, it is late.
It is late, man.
Daphne. We have family that live in Daphne, and it was voted one of the top 10 safest cities in Alabama
Hmm.
either last year or the year
Great
before.
school system.
Excellent school systems, cost of living is not outrageous, and it's what, 40 minutes from the beach?
Yeah, 40, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic, I guess. But you're also right on the bay.
Hmm.
There, you're right across the bay from Mobile. There's lots of fishing there for me. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Bass Pro Shops is right there in Spanish Fort. That's pretty awesome.
yeah, and we would
I'm sold.
already,
Let's move.
it would be like we weren't moving into a city where we knew absolutely no one. Like at least we've got a little bit of a
Yeah,
circle there
yeah.
for just getting our footing and learning the area and the schools and that kind of thing. But I don't know. I used to think that we would probably live in this area forever, but as time goes on, I just feel like it might be right to move. Maybe.
If the opportunities present itself in the right order, I think it could happen. I think we have some things that we definitely have to. We have some unfinished business here in Tuscaloosa. Definitely, we have. This is definitely not the time, but it's not going to be taken off the table anytime soon. I
Yeah.
think it should. I think we should keep discussing it and talking about what's important to us
Yeah,
and making moves and plans to make that a reality in a certain amount of time.
for sure.
We should probably talk to the kids about it too. You should probably talk to them, see what they think.
Well, I sort of already brought it up to them a couple of times, but I haven't presented them with Daphne or here. I presented them with like in town or out here, the
Oh,
country. And they voted country every time.
we can still live in the country down there.
In the city? In town? Northport?
No, I meant Daphne.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think they really like living in a place that's sort of secluded in a way. Like they can just run around and ride four wheelers and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for Shepard to not pee outside wherever we go.
Especially if we live in a neighborhood.
He did it like literally in that time
Oh my
when
God.
he was in the water and he ran out of the water to us and said, "I have to pee," and we're like, "Just go back in the water and pee. Nobody will know." And so he ran to the edge of the water and pulled his pants around his ankles and peed into the lake.
It was like a holiday weekend. There was thousands of people everywhere, and like 20 people just stared at him as he pissed right into the lake water.
And we couldn't stop him.
I was too embarrassed to approach him, to be honest with you. I was like, I'm just gonna let him finish, and once he pulls
Dude,
his
that was
pants
one of
up,
the
I'm gonna
funniest
call him
things
over here.
I have ever witnessed in my life.
I was like, no, he's not. Oh God. Oh
Because he
no,
went back
God.
to we said pee in the lake, and he went and pulled
Well, and Shepard is just that type of kid. Like, he's so particular and he does not like things that seem gross or dirty to him.
Uh-huh.
Like he doesn't like his hands to be gritty or greasy. He doesn't like
You're
things to
right.
be, like stuff to touch his stuffed animals that's sticky. He's kind of weird about being clean. And so his idea was, I'm about to pee in my pants. No, thank you.
He's only weird about it if he can see it.
Yeah,
Because if it's on his face, he don't give a shit. He'll
that's
just
so
smear it
true.
all over his face and not even want like what do you mean? What's on my face? There ain't nothing
You
on
got
me.
crust on his
It's
face.
your whole cheek is brown, man.
I know your cheeks feel tight when you try to talk because you got so much crust. Oh, I love that baby. Oh, but he do.
I'm sorry, man. That's so funny. I love our kids.
God, they're awesome. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think I've also like toyed around with a fantasy of moving to Montana.
Ooh, dude, I was just talking about Montana earlier this week.
Yeah, I've like always felt a calling to that state, and I don't know why, because I've never been there,
Me
but
either.
every time I've ever seen images or like, movies or shows that were filmed there, I don't know, like my soul longs to be there.
I know. It seems and it almost seems like why isn't it flooded with people already? Like, why isn't everyone already pouring into there? Because it seems like there's no downsides to it. Like,
Which makes
like,
me
like
nervous.
it's not very densely populated. The cost of living's pretty low.
Is it?
Yes,
Okay.
the what am I trying to think of?
What about
Home.
jobs?
What do they call
Housing
the
market?
realty? Yeah, the housing market is
Yeah.
pretty low. Like the houses aren't too expensive.
Huh.
There's lots of nature, lots of hunting and fishing.
Yeah,
It's
so
pretty conservative. Gun laws are pretty lax. Like it it seems like it fits with us pretty well because they're pretty socially liberal, it seems like, but like financially conservative and
is
like
abortion legal there?
I do not know. Let
Hmm.
me pull up my abortion map real quick.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
Um, I
Smush
only
Martians.
ask because I really would, not to say that um I would just feel more comfortable living in a place where, you know, I know that I could seek that or somebody I loved could seek that if it came down to it,
If
if, you know.
make Plan B too.
Uh, while abortion remains legal in Montana, the legislation specifies that access to the procedure until viability is no longer protected under the right of privacy in the state's constitution, contradicting the court's 2 decades old ruling.
And that's
That was May 5th,
okay.
23.
Okay.
It looks
So
like
they just
this
restricted it
happened
a little bit.
recently.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Damn. You know, that's I really don't want to talk about abortion on this episode, but damn, that one we could spend a lot of time on.
Well, we could touch on it. I mean,
I mean, it's just
we feel differently about it than
I
some
know it's just
people.
hard. Well, because like even though we do feel differently, like like sorry, I got stuck again. It's just people are always this or that, all the way one side or all the way another side. But like you can be like you should be able to have the right to do whatever you need to do if as soon as you need to do it. But yeah, fucking killing babies sucks. Like no one wants to kill babies. And that's what it is. After a certain point, if you wait to a certain point, you are killing a baby. Like that's just what it is. But you should have the right to do that if you want to, because this is America and fuck off and get away from it. Like I
Mhm.
don't know. That's all I have to say about that. We can move on from the smortion talk.
Well, I'll make one comment if you don't
I
mind.
should probably allow you to speak on it since you're a woman.
No, well, I just because I just want to say that I've known people that have made the decision to have an abortion, and I believe that that is within their constitutional right. I
Yeah.
believe that they should have the freedom to make that choice about their body. But I've known people that had to make the choice for whatever reason, and it was the hardest decision that they ever had to make. And I think that people should really just stay in their lane when it comes to your body, and our government should too.
I believe that the vast majority of politicians who are arguing on either side don't believe what they're saying and they don't give a shit. And they're just
Yeah,
doing it because they're told to and because they're pushing agendas. I think it's all lies. And if everyone would just be real.
yeah.
Mm.
I mean, as a woman, I don't have a daughter, but if I did have a daughter, I would most definitely want her to have the ability to seek out whatever medical procedure she may or may not need with no restrictions
Yeah.
based upon especially anything religious or what is deemed morally right.
I think
It's
the
a matter of
restriction should
freedom.
be, yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I agree with everything you just said.
What did,
I have nothing more to add.
no, no, what did you
Well,
were about
no,
to say the
no,
restriction?
it wasn't a fully thought out thought, so I didn't want to say it yet. So I'm gonna keep that one to myself because I haven't fully thought that out yet, and I don't want to speak on it.
Okay.
I feel like that's fair.
Well, and I think I'm sort of like telepathy with you right
Yeah, we
now,
have that.
and I feel the same way in that regard. So, but yeah, anyway, that's how we feel about that, and much love to anybody who has or has not had to make that decision. But please don't be judgmental of people.
Yeah,
You don't know what people's story are. I tried not to be judgmental of people when it comes to that.
yeah, because it's not like everybody's skipping into the abortion clinic like super stoked about it. Like, fucking
Hmm.
relax,
No, I've heard about what these people experience,
dude. And
and
there's
it's,
always people fucking protesting out of those places. So they're probably like harassing all the young girls that are coming in, like,
yeah,
more, more.
I've had
Fuck, man, that's supposed to be awful.
absolutely had people tell me, you know, it's an experience you don't want to do twice.
Mm.
It's absolutely terrible. People are assaulted outside of those clinics and bribed with
Accosted, yeah.
cash, literally $100 bills they're waving,
That's crazy.
and crazy stuff like
Wait,
that.
wait to like not get an abortion. They do that?
Yeah, been told
Like, hey,
that
don't spend 500. We'll give you 100 not to do it.
exactly, like,
Whoa.
I've been told that there's, like, a separate van outside, and they, like, walk around with $100 bills, like, "Come and get, an ultrasound, and we'll give you $100," and,
Oh.
blah, 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 blah,
Never mind,
and
you just killed my great money-making scheme I just had. Once you said ultrasound, my idea was killed.
oh, no. But,
Dang.
yeah, and, like, knocking on their windows and stuff when they're just minding their own business, waiting for their turn to go into the clinic, like, just absolutely harassed, and probably a lot of them are in tears, because they're having to make such a life-altering decision,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. That doesn't matter
Okay,
and
so
shouldn't.
on our list of cities to live in, abortion has to be legal.
Well, or
Just in case, I
just
guess.
and I don't mean to just talk about that, but that's just the first one that comes to mind of something that Alabama has really strict laws on that I don't
Yeah.
necessarily agree with, and that's one that comes to mind.
But you can go buy Plan B at Walgreens, or you can take your 14-year-old daughter and get the fucking depot shot, and she can just, like, that's okay. But like, they're just playing
Yeah,
games. They're just playing lines.
I don't know, man. It's tough,
So
and
either yeah, either it's okay or it's not. Like either it's okay that they're being sexually active or it's not. Either they can get birth control or they can't, or they can have abortions or they're not. Why isn't it all the same?
yeah, I
It's
don't know.
ridiculous.
I don't know why it feels so like living in this state, the laws feel a lot of times like an old Southern dad disciplining or like setting their kids in line, and they're like telling us every little thing we can and can't do. Like, I know there has to be rules and regulations and processes, but I don't understand. I don't know.
That's what
I,
it
I don't get
was
it.
for decades. It was for how many decades was Alabama's governor just that? An old Southern dad trying to get his kids in line. And they were, if you go back like the last three or four men were all corrupt. They're all in prison or they all been like accused and convicted of something corrupt.
Yeah. Well, and the
And look at
ones
us.
up there that work like in the Capitol building and like within Alabama legislature and our judicial system, all of these men who are like sex offenders and
Mm,
like pervs and
mm,
creeps,
mm.
and we're
Creeper.
trusting these guys to like
Have you read the
make
text
these
from
calls.
disgraced former Governor Bentley from to his secretary? They're
No.
gross. He's so old, and he was getting so nasty with that lady, his old secretary. Dude, they're all. What is wrong with our state? What is the, and then who is it? Judge Roy Moore, the guy who was. Well, actually, I don't want to say. I think I'm wrong on the name, but one of them who was trying to run for president ended up. He was trying to pick up young girls at the mall and that's why he ended up getting canceled running for like they're all fucked up.
Was that the Ted guy?
Can't weird. I don't know. I'm an
What was his
idiot.
name? Ted something? We don't keep up with politics,
Yeah, I try not because I
obviously.
it pisses me off because they're all liars and I hate them all, so I just don't pay attention. But I should.
Well,
When I do, it makes me mad because I know they're all lying and they're not trying to
something
help us. No one's trying to help us.
yeah, we're kind of in a really tough tax bracket, and it's sad that it's classified in that way, but people in our tax bracket really suffer.
Well, we're also trying. I mean, we're also trying to do what not a lot of people are doing in this day and age, which is living on one income.
Yeah,
Most days, both parents are working, and it probably would be a lot easier for us. But that's not us, and that's not our life right now. Our life
yeah.
is working out very well the way it is, so we're not going to mess anything up. We're just doing what we do, and
Well, and we're
doing it
just
well.
trying something different, and we've been so happy, and our relationship has been so much better. We're just wanting to really give this a shot, and it can happen if you make the right sacrifices.
Yeah,
So we're trying it, but he knows I'm always willing to work if I need to.
yeah. Well, I'm not gonna ask you to do that though.
But it
Not yet.
has been nice because I started working when I was 15. So
Hmm.
I have never had since then a period in my life where I didn't work.
Well, I think
So no.
having an opportunity for you to pursue some things that truly bring you joy
Yeah.
uh, will work out really well and might in might in some sense one day lead to you making a little bit of money off of it, and if you do, that'll be just bonus happy money, and we'll just have that, and that'll bring joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe we'll hit the lottery, and
Yeah.
I can just be a fucking fisherman and just fish all the
Yeah.
time and
Fuck
fish
yeah.
tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Boats.
fucking
Yeah.
yeah. Woo! Yee! Oh shit, the kids are asleep.
Oh my
Not
God.
anymore.
But something else that popped into my head that I wanted to say, I would also be very interested in finding a state to live in that's really environmentally conscious,
Hmm.
and energy efficient because, the South, we lagging big time. All these Republicans, they're like, it don't exist. And then the ice
What the
caps are like,
environment
we're
doesn't exist.
melting. Sasquatch is real, but
Dude,
not global
hey, he
warming.
might be. Don't talk shit on Sasquatch. You don't know.
I'm just saying, like, how ridiculous some people
I know.
sound, but I
Well,
would
I
really
don't.
love to live in a place that, or maybe profited or gave its citizens a benefit for doing energy efficient
Hmm,
things. I mean, I don't know what else we can do besides write it off on our taxes
I
if
don't know.
we make like an energy efficient home improvement. But like, I want to live
I don't know.
somewhere that's like,
Well, I also feel like our. I know our city doesn't do. I mean, I don't know what we do as far as recycling goes. I know they have that whole separate system that goes and picks up all the paper, the
mm-hmm,
cardboard, but like our city's pretty clean
mm-hmm,
compared to like some close by metropolitan cities.
mm-hmm.
It's pretty clean.
I agree.
Not a lot of homeless. It's pretty small. You
Mm-hmm,
know, that's something that I don't want in whatever city we move to. I don't want it to be dirty.
mm-hmm.
I don't want there to be homeless people everywhere. I don't know if that's offensive, whatever, but that's not what I want.
Well, that's how you feel. I mean,
Is that wrong for me to say? Should I not have said that?
no,
I just feel like
I,
you should take care of people enough where they don't have to live on the streets in your city.
yes,
So I don't want to live anywhere where that's happening.
I
That's
think,
what I mean.
I think that that's a really good point, actually. And, well, you have to be realistic and think about, safety and stuff like that. You want to
Yeah,
live somewhere that's safe, obviously, and that doesn't have a lot of crime. And you've got kids. And I mean, not to say that homeless people are always the cause of that, but it usually means that,
yeah. But you have some cities where they're like defecating on the streets. Like
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
if your city has to create an app that lets people and tourists know where there is human shit so you don't walk there,
Mm,
then you should do something about that. That's a real thing.
yeah.
Somebody should do something.
Well,
You
and I
people should do
just,
something about your city. They're shitting in the streets. What's wrong with you?
this is
Stand up,
terrible.
rise up.
Rise up, Buffalo. Well, and you don't want to live in a place where your kids could easily wind up in a bad area, as they get older and want to hang out with friends. Like, you want to
Well,
live in a place that's generally okay.
I disagree a little.
Really?
Yeah,
Tell me why.
yeah. Because you need to have adventure in your life at that age. You need
Hmm.
to have the chance to end up in a dangerous area so you can turn around and go back the other way. You need to,
Hmm.
and like, I'm not trying to nerf the whole world for our kids. There needs to be some things that they run into that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be dangerous areas everywhere in the fucking country and in the city. There's mean ass people out at, if you're on an old back country road and there's one gas station every 12 miles, there might be an asshole in that gas station. You
Yeah.
know, there's assholes everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm glad you said that. And I didn't mean what I said to come off like
No,
we want to live in a, you know, wealthy only area
come.
with no crime. Like, I just meant, you just want to know that, as a mother anyway, I want to know that when I allow my kids to go hang out with friends and stuff, that I guess, firstly, that they'll make the right decisions.
Yeah,
But you're right. I mean, they do need to face
and
hard
that
decisions.
the law enforcement of the area are respected enough and on top of it that you're not worried about it. I think that's what
Yeah.
you're getting at.
And don't get me wrong, I don't mean that to be any type of like money class thing or
because
racial thing
because we
either.
don't have any of that, so we can't.
No, we don't. I don't mean it like that at all because I know some areas of Brookwood I wouldn't want my kids to go to. I know some areas of the West Side I wouldn't want my kids to go to. I know some areas of Gina and Utah I wouldn't want my kids to go to. So,
Yeah.
like, it's not,
Mainly, it's just there's we know people in all those areas. We don't want our kids hanging out with if you know them, and
we just need something new.
know people in all those same areas that I love too. It's just people. That's what it comes down to, I think.
Yeah, just we got to keep them in a
We've got to
circle that's
find we
strong,
got to find a good circle.
a
Where's
good
our circle?
circle.
We need
Mm,
a circle of black sheep.
man. And then, I think, are the people in Montana a lot like the people here? Like, how are they different? How are
Hmm.
they alike? I don't know
What's a
anyone from
Montana
Montana.
accent sound like? Are we gonna stand out pretty bad? Probably.
I mean, hell,
Hail!
Alabama
Yeah.
accent's the most southern of them
You
all.
said well, hail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
no
obviously we're
escaping
gonna
these
stand out
fucking
everywhere we
vocal
go because we're gonna
cords.
be goofy.
Yeah, and be like these fucking guys.
Dude, we should go visit Montana though and see. I want to visit Bisping, is that what it's called? I've heard Bisping is beautiful. All the pictures I've seen look amazing.
Is marijuana legal in Montana
I
by chance? Just
I don't think
curious.
so.
Okay,
Maybe medical marijuana. I
I'm
do
gonna
not
look
think
that up too.
recreationally is legal.
Hmm,
Yeah.
I haven't read the updates on that recently.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's I don't even think any of the states around Montana have it legalized. Yeah, I
Really?
think you have to go farther west
Hmm.
before it starts getting legal and awesome.
It says,
Hmm?
um, hmm.
Sorry.
From January 1st, 2022 until July 1st, 2023, only Montana medical marijuana licenses who were issued on November 3rd, 2020, may be issued a license for cultivation, manufacture, or sale of adult use marijuana.
Hmm.
Hmm.
What does that mean?
Dear. It says as of January 1st, 2021, adults 21 and over may possess and use up to 1 ounce of marijuana with no criminal
Oh, it's
penalties.
decriminalized in Montana. Okay.
They can
Up to an
cultivate up to
ounce?
2 mature
Dog.
plants, 2 seedlings for private use in a private residence, subject to certain
Dude,
restrictions.
it's so awesome that the people who make these laws have no like they're so ignorant about the like how much marijuana like weight is and like how much people get. It's
I
not like an
mean,
ounce is so fucking much.
they,
Like you can legally have up to an ounce and not get in any trouble. Like everyone in Montana is high as shit right now.
yeah, bro. Well, I mean, think about it. Like everybody from, or a lot of people from that generation, what was like the whole marijuana thing of like the 50s, early 60s?
Oh, the reefer madness.
Reefer
Fuck yeah,
madness,
it'll make you
reefer
crazy, brother.
madness.
It's gonna
And
make you
then
murder everyone.
then Reagan came in and was like, we're on drugs,
Oh,
including
oh yeah.
marijuana, the gateway drug.
Mm,
And then
the gateway.
I don't know.
The
I mean,
gateway.
I don't feel like Lance should be
Let's all be
illegal.
real here. The real gateway drug is alcohol. That's the real gateway drug for
Or
everyone in the whole world. Alcohol is what
mm,
sets them on their path. If you have the alcoholism gene or if you have the addiction gene and you,
mm,
you get that little taste of it at a young age, it sets you off on a it can set you off on a crazy spiral for the rest of your life.
mm.
Alcohol is the gateway drug.
Especially if you have some sort of childhood trauma or you
Mm,
experience some major loss and then you
hmm.
resort to that, I feel like that's every intervention episode. It's
Yeah.
like the
They
same
they use
story,
that
you
at
know?
a young age as a crutch, as something to fall on to take
Hmm.
away something else, and they never develop the skills to do it without it.
Yeah.
So it just gets worse, and then eventually alcohol's not enough. So you
Well,
start
and
doing really cool stuff like shooting up heroin, melting shit down in a spoon.
oh God.
Mm. Then
Well,
you feel really cool.
I mean, I guess what, like 20 years ago, like 2000-ish time frame, early 2000s, the gateway drug for so many years was, being prescribed by
Mm,
doctors
dude,
to
it still is,
people
yeah.
every day. And it was, I mean, killing and is killing millions and millions of people. And I almost wonder what the comparison on opioid medication or narcotic medication and alcohol would be.
Mm,
I'd be
that's pretty
interested
close,
to
yeah.
know that statistic.
Yeah. Mm, I'd be very interested to know. Let's look
Yeah.
it up.
You don't ever hear of like a pothead who's like, you know, I don't know, like stealing from their relatives and like, selling themselves and their bodies for money and stuff for
Well,
weed.
no, no, like adult potheads are stealing from their relatives to get weed. Like maybe 15 and 16-year-olds are stealing money out of their mom's purse to buy a fucking eighth.
Yeah, but like, I guess
If you're a
you
grown
can't
man and you're
become
selling your body to buy
addicted.
weed, there's something else wrong with there's something else going on.
That's
I
true.
think you're addicted to selling your body.
Well, and marijuana doesn't have all of the withdrawal side effects, I
Yeah,
guess, when you stop using or use it. It's more of like a temporary thing, I
yeah.
guess. But nonetheless,
Nonetheless.
totally illegal in Alabama. Totally
Oh yeah,
illegal.
they'll fuck your shit up,
They will send you straight to fucking jail for like a quarter size bag of weed.
dude. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's, oh,
Are you serious with this stuff? Do you know
it's
what this
like,
could do to you?
could you go and maybe patrol our kids' schools in the daytime to get your hours or whatever instead of like, busting people for tiny amounts of marijuana, clogging up our prisons and hmm, I won't go off on that one. That'll be a whole nother conversation.
Man, we have lots of opinions, Hannah.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I had a realization within the past
Hit me.
few months that, I'm trying to accept myself more and find things to love about myself. And in sort of thinking in those terms, I've come to the realization that I am so opinionated and so loudly opinionated.
Hmm.
And that is
You're just now
off-putting
figuring that
to
out.
that is off-putting to some people, and that's probably
Well,
why I just have a harder time finding my circle, you know?
I would not. Now, I think saying that you're off-putting is going a little too far.
I hope
I
I'm
don't think having
not.
an opinion makes you off-putting,
I don't want to be.
because generally, when you meet people, you're not like in their. You're not a very in-your-face person with your opinions like that. When you meet people,
Yeah.
you're very nice and you're very personable. You're not like that.
Well, and I
But
always try to be
but when you get
respectful.
but you know when you get close to somebody, you get comfortable, and things come up, you don't have a problem saying how you feel, which is not a flaw at all. That's not a
They're like,
problem.
"Wait, what did you just say?"
You're like,
Oh,
well, that's
we
what I
can't be
feel.
friends anymore.
That's how I'm. But when it's things like,
It happens every time.
but when it's things like, well, I believe that everyone should be treated the same and that we're all equals, and if people are like, that's ridiculous, how can you say that? We can't be friends. Then obviously there's something going on with them, and that's not a you thing. It's
Yeah,
not a
or,
problem with you.
I always just try to come about things from a very level-headed, well, with the exception of you because you're my husband and I love you, but it's easiest to argue with you. But I
Yeah,
try to typically come to people with like a level-headed, calm disposition on whatever, if
yeah,
there's an issue. And I don't know, man.
yes,
People
and
have come at me so strong, and I'm like, what? I hate confrontation. Why are you coming at me like this? I'm just trying to be myself.
well, you didn't deserve that.
It's all good. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm just not going to let people talk down on someone for their race
Hmm.
or sexual orientation or, you know, pant size or I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
anything. I just
I
try to
agree.
love people and treat people as equally as I possibly can because for a lot of my life, I was ignorant and I turned my head from issues that were important. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to listen. I want to learn. I want to learn how to not flaunt or abuse white privilege in
Mm,
any way. I want to learn to recognize it and respect all that comes related to that,
yeah, yeah.
And I feel that strongly the past few years.
I have an idea.
Okay.
So, step one to deciding if we need to move is we need to attempt to find our circle here first.
Okay.
If we can find our circle, it's good for our kids. It's good for us. Maybe we don't have to.
Hmm.
Maybe we can make it work and be the light.
That would be cool. And not to say we don't have some real tight friends
We just
here.
never get to see you.
We love y'all, man.
Maybe it's our fault. It probably is our
I'm gonna
fault.
I'm gonna do abbreviations and y'all can guess who it is. R and K,
Hmm.
J and A.
Oh,
Well, they're not here, but J and J.
preach,
Hold on. C and C.
preach.
B and J. B and J. Never realized those initials are BJ. Um, that's perfect. But and so many more that I'm probably forgetting, but we need people that live
Man,
close by to us so that we can
have we been insulting all of our friends this whole time by saying all this that we don't have a
no,
circle?
because we've recognized that we do have a circle. It's a small circle, but we've got lots of people here that we really love, but I really just want to find a circle that lives a little closer to us so that, it's easier to go to each other's houses, send kids to each other's houses,
Hmm.
do things together as neighbors, that kind of thing. Not like direct next door neighbors, but same neighborhood would be cool.
We don't have a neighborhood.
Well,
We're
we
in the
do. We
country.
just real spaced out. We spaced far
Our
out.
closest neighbor is the fucking black bears that's showing up on everybody's game cameras.
Oh man, that's for real, y'all. There's some black bears in these
Yeah.
woods. I never would have
I thought it
thunk
was
it.
bad enough when there was a mountain lion roaming around.
Yep,
Now there's bears.
I saw that panther with my own two
Dude, I didn't
eyes.
believe you for so long till I saw him.
Have we told that story yet?
I don't know.
Anyway, I saw a black
Well,
fucking
well,
panther
like
right down the street.
very soon after we got married, you mentioned something about the Foster's panther, and I laughed really hard, and I was like, "There's no fucking panthers in Foster. There's no panthers in this continent. Like, there's mountain lions and stuff, but they're like, brown and light color." She's like, "This thing was black, black as night," and I saw it, and it was real, and I just didn't believe you, and I just for years and
Eyes
years and
as
years, but I
green.
saw that fucker with my own eyes.
Mm,
Oh, dude, he's big.
he looks like Bagheera,
He
bro.
does, and but he's definitely dark brown. He's
Yes,
so dark, but
yes.
he's spooky looking, man.
And I have found out since seeing him that mountain lions do come in a very dark fur variety
Yeah,
with light colored
yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
He was as long
This
as the road is
it was
wide. He was
unmistakable. It was
huge.
unmistakable what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
I just remember
And
thinking,
knowing that that thing was just living around out there, and that Lucky was just living and surviving outside, like going and roaming off in the woods for like 18 hours at a time and just showing back up dirty, covered in stuff. Like she was such a junkyard dog. She was awesome.
oh man, I miss Lucky. That dog was my best bud. And I love Maggie too, but who is probably currently having an anxiety attack in our porch because we put her
I think
outside
she's
for
under the bed
this.
right now.
Nope. I think I'll let her back out.
Oh,
Oh, wait. Maybe she is. Did I let her back in?
I think she's under the bed right now
Oh,
asleep.
gone.
She's
Oh,
almost too big to get under there
I
anymore.
was just playing. But she would be having an anxiety attack if she was out there. She does not like being left outside for long periods of time.
She doesn't like being away from us.
But Lucky was a junkyard dog, and she would just come home with like animal bones and
Yeah,
skulls.
she would just show up with stuff, and I'm like, did she kill that or did she
She was
find
like
it?
a warrior dog. She was just always on the prowl and like, yeah,
Yeah, dude. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was always on a mission to do something or to
look
get
at
something.
today's winnings.
I like. I never knew if she was gonna really be here when I got home, but I knew she'd come home. Like she was that dog.
Always.
Yeah, she would just take off out into the woods and be
Mm,
gone.
Jeez, that was a very sad day when she passed. She got hit by a
R.I.P.
car. But um,
I'm
it's
sorry.
not funny.
It was the
It's
way you said
not
it.
funny.
It was the
But I
because we're
realized,
so close to the end of the episode. I did not want to end with you going. She got hit by a car. So thanks for joining us.
no, that probably would have been perfect, actually. Very
How long
insert.
have we been going? Actually,
1 hour,
no
1 minute.
Whoa,
We're probably at a
awesome.
pretty good stopping point.
Yeah, this has been fun.
I'm pretty tired and I
Episode
think
10,
we're
right?
getting delirious.
Oh man, yeah.
Yep, episode 10. Let's see, what do we need to do? Remind our
We're going to announce the
lovely
winner
folks
of the contest
tomorrow.
tomorrow, which will be that was that the day that the day after this airs, the day after we're recording this.
This is going to be June the 4th,
This what?
like us announcing the winner, June the
Okay, on
4th.
June the 4th, the winner will be announced. That's today. Hello. Congratulations. Dude, it
um,
is so late. Okay.
check Facebook and or Instagram, and we will post the winner there as well as the piece of artwork that is won. And of course, don't forget to follow and
Like
like and rate
and
our
subscribe.
podcast. Thank you, Taylor, Sandy, for all the nice things you guys have had to say. I really appreciate you guys, and we love you. We're so excited to watch your baby journey that you're on. We follow you on
Yay.
TikTok.
So excited.
Um, but we love all of you guys, and as long as no medical emergency happens between now and next week,
We should have another episode dropping Friday. Episode
Friday,
11. Check it out.
episode 11.
Thanks very much.
Woo, woo.
Bye. Oh, we said do this even though we're not on camera.
Yeah.